Hey everyone, welcome back to House of Chi Yoga. I am Chi, and thank you for joining me today on my mat. Let's begin. I've been working my butt off, and that also means sitting very still. So I'm so excited to move, and please join me. Let's take it to the top of the mat. Let's brush any dust or dirt off because it's been so long since you've been on your mat. And let's start rolling heel to toe. Take a second to connect to your body, to your breath, to the space around you, anything that feels good that you feel like you need for your body for a moment. Checking in with all the joints, with the neck, the shoulders. Let's go through the ribs, go through the hips, knees, ankles, toes, fingertips. Everything's feeling a little bit tight and stuck on me today. So let's do lots of flowing movement. Inhale, palms rise. Cross elbows. Exhale, bend the knees. And then let the hands go behind the body. Inhale, stand. Exhale, bend the knees. Cross elbows. Exhale, throw back. Inhale. Exhale, one more. Stay at the bottom. If you can reach the floor, plant the fingertips. I'm going to keep my feet down and shift my hips right to left. And then I'll bend the knees and start walking the heels up, maybe rolling through the ankles, keeping the feet planted, adding some pulsing through the legs. And then as I extend my legs, I'm going to push my chest towards the thigh. Let's go one more and land in a forward fold. You can keep the hands on the floor or connect to opposite elbow. Feel the weight of the body lengthening the spine here. Releasing the head, yes and no. Exhale through the mouth. Bending the knees as the right arm peels up, the left knee bends. Inhale. Exhale, roll back down to switch as the left arm rolls up, right knee bends. Exhale. Two more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I know it's quick breathing. Inhale. Starting to warm up the belly. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, flat. Exhale, bend the knees, stay at your hover, and just walk the toes in and out. So if you see me from the side, my toes go forward, my toes go wide, forward, wide. Start warming up the hips. Still doing the little bit quicker breathing method. We want to keep warming up the belly. And then we'll go toes forward, slow body roll. You're rounding from the tailbone all the way through the spine. Lift up through the gaze. And then exhale, opposite direction. Nice slow rolling. Let the weight of the body pull the spine long. Inhale as you unroll to the top. And exhale as you unroll to the bottom. One more time. Inhale. And stay at the top this time. Shake it out. Bring your feet off the floor. Add some movement. Always exhaling out of the mouth. Then we'll meet at the top and let's go through a vinyasa. Inhale, palms rise. Exhale to a fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, plank position. Lower your knees if you like. Otherwise, do a full plank. Inhale through cobra. Exhale, tuck the chin. Pull the ribs back. Tuck the toes. Downward facing. Bend the knees. Step or hop up. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll it up any way you'd like. Palms lift. Exhale, hands to your heart. Close your eyes, palms down, ground through the feet. When you're ready, inhale, palms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, chaturanga, however you would like. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, through downward facing. One more bend, step or hop. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Meet me at the top. Palms rise. Hands, heart, eyes closed. Take a moment. Check in with the feet. Inhale, palms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, chaturanga. Cobra. From our cobra, we're then going to bring it back into a child's pose. Toes together, knees wide. You can shimmy the hips. You can sink the ribs here. Maybe forehead to the mat for some rolling. And then just take a moment to take the fingertips to the neck and massage out through the neck. Massage the trap muscles here. We typically hold a lot of tension in our traps, moving into our shoulders. So just take a moment to consciously release this area. And then use the hands to the floor and walk it up through center. If you're okay to stay on your knees, we're going to stay on our knees here. If you need to go to seated, just plop on down to the sits bones. Hands to the legs. You're going to roll through cat-cow spine. And you're working navel to spine on the way back. You're continuing to warm up the belly muscles. Lengthen the arms as you push back and create as deep of a C curve as you can get there. And then on the way forward, you're creating this big heart opening lift. And as you lift and express through the front body, the back body is finding some engagement. Continue to work with your breath. Exhale back. Inhale, open. Hold on the way back this time. Empty the belly. Empty the breath. Keep squeezing right to left. Massage the belly. Keep squeezing, squeezing. Emptying, emptying. Inhale, fill, palms up. Right hand under the left side rib and tap it out. And then opposite, left hand, right side rib. Keeping the hips still, let's just add a big side bend reach, right to left. And then you can add a little bit more of a pull as you bring the elbow back down. It's almost as if you're crunching the elbow down to the side. You feel a little more resistance being created. Engage more abdominals. Now it's a push and a pull, push and a pull. One more each side. And then we're going to land in a spinal twist towards the right. Lift and lower the heart. I always follow with the cervical spine and the gaze. You don't have to if it feels like the neck is really tense here. And then come back to a neutral spine and circle it out. You can circle the ribs, you can circle the hips, or you can circle both like I'm doing. Mine as well. And if that movement feels good, well, let's release. I got my words stumbled up there. Let's release the back arm and allow some movement through the shoulder girdle as well. Now keeping the right sits bone down, just lean. You can open up this whole right side body. You also have the option to lengthen the left arm underneath and go a little farther. No idea if the microphone is staying on. I hope it did just now. Inhale, rise. And then we're just going to lean towards the right side. And you have to walk out pretty far. I like taking my hands wide. I'm just adding a little bit of a push-up while you're holding this right side abdominal crunch. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. And then bring the right arm down. And any movement on that opposite hip, the left hip. Adding a little resistance. So the left hand's going on top of the hip. My left leg is strong. I'm going to actively push up as my hand is actively pushing down to create resistance. Feel the glutes warming up. Feel the lateral leg, the lateral hip warming up. Now hold that resistance. Hold, hold, hold. And then bring the knee high. Point the toe. Now notice from this position, as I pull my knee up and my toe down, it turns my pelvis this way. I have this little round in my upper back. So that's okay. I have to do that to get my toe forward. I want to just tap my toe above the leg and below the leg. Try to keep the knee high and the inner thigh rolling towards yourself. So my inner thigh I'm pulling in. Hi. Let's take a few more. 3, 2, and 1. Now you're coming back up through center and the left leg is going all the way across. You can sit up nice and tall for a little stretch here on the outer hip. You can pull it in closer and bring the chin down. You can let the knees fall forward. Whatever movement is feeling good there. I like taking my hand to my hip and giving it a little massage. I do realize I'm not facing you at all here. And I'm feeling this twist. I'm going to hold the twist today. I'm just briefly getting a stretch. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale, round back, bring the top leg through and cross both ankles as you shift to our plank position. From plank, push from both toes, rock into the hips, find the core. Push the ceiling or push the upper back towards the ceiling. And now take bigger movements. You're going to downward facing dog. Roll the plank and push forward. Make sure you're not feeling it just in the front of the shoulder, but you feel the work traveling through the body. You feel the abdominals. You feel the tops of the legs. You feel the toes. And you feel the lats, the side body up into the core. Let's stay in that push forward plank. 3, lift up the head. 2, and 1. Knees down. Find child's pose with the toes tucked under. Try to give your toes a little stretch here. And then walking the hands back. We're still staying on top of the toes if you can. Again, if you need to, you can go to a seated position. I'm going to stay here and take my fingers to the hip line and rib line. And then crunch, tuck the chin, inhale, open. Exhale, crunch, inhale, open. If you have very tight hip flexors, you may feel a little pull on the hip flexors here. So just limit the movement a little bit. But if those hip flexors are doing good, then you can really squeeze into your crunch. Let's hold the crunch here, squeeze, and just push right to left through the core. So it's this little tug of war action right in the obliques. 3, 2, palms out. Don't lose the core, but option to add some spiraling. This is a 360 crunch. Let's go opposite direction. 2, and 1. Untuck the toes, hands behind the head. Hold the weight of the head. So I take the blades of the pinkies, put them right at that hairline, right at the occiput, and then I lift and create space. The weight of the head is falling into the palms. The palms are lifting to open up. And then pull the rib cage back in. Now I'm active, and I'm going to roll back through my lat muscles, so all the way down here. As you roll, feel the lats pulling back and down. A little bit more work for the back body. So from here, we're going to exhale, twist elbow to opposite knee. Inhale, push the head into the palms. Exhale, twist. I think that was, nope, that's an inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, head into the palm. I was getting lost in my breathing there. Exhale, inhale, push. Exhale, twist. One more on the left. Exhale, and then let's come into our spinal twist here. So I'm going to switch positions in our spinal twist. Keep the chest open and add some pulsing. You can tell I'm tired because I keep stumbling on my words. And I also haven't had the chance to do much yoga. And so my energy has been sinking, and I have to get back into the habit of regular body movement to build my energy back up. That's why we're here tonight. And then holding through center, adding the spiraling. Let's build the energy together. You can spiral ribs, you can spiral hips. For some reason, this side is a little trickier for me to do both. Let's challenge ourselves, bring the arm up and add the shoulder. Whoa, my body does not want to do that one. I feel like I'm trying way too hard right now. 3, 2, and 1. I would not call that a success, but here we are. So now we're leaning towards the left side. Remember, you have to go pretty far out and wide. Add a few push-ups here. You're focusing on that squeeze through the left side oblique. Make sure the shoulders are staying open, the chest is staying open. 3, 2, and 1. And then the left side goes down. Any movement on that top right hip. I hope you noticed my beautiful pumpkins in the background. We were at the pumpkin patch today because it is October. And there were so many beautiful pumpkins, I had to bring some home. Okay, adding the resistance on the top leg. So active flex, active leg. Adding the resistance as I'm lifting, I'm simultaneously pushing down. This is working the hips and into the core. 3, squeeze. 2, now hold, hold, hold. Don't give up, don't stop pushing. And now stop pushing and bring the leg all the way forward. So whichever versions you took on the other side, whether it was knees down and a lean, or you just sat, or you pulled it closer, or you brought the head down, take whatever version you did on the other side and just play with it on this side a little bit. I'm just going to hold this stretch. It feels so nice. Taking one more breath here. And then as you exhale, we'll round, we'll release the toes. Hands are going directly behind us and feet are going wide. Let's get a windshield wipe in. You're trying to pull the knee down to the center, not to the center, but I like to pull mine in line with the hip. Some people do go to center. I just bring mine right down so my femur's in one line from the knee to the hip. Hi, Elsa. Are you joining our video? Elsa's acting a little scared tonight, a little skittish. She's hiding behind her blanket wall. And then if you want to go a little farther, as you bring the knee in, you're going to squeeze and pull through the abdominals to lift up. So this is a lot of hip, a lot of core. Maybe you can even transition with no hands at all. Work the hips out. We're going to land with both legs towards the left. And then take your hands to the right side oblique. Make sure this is active. And you can float the back leg. You can do any kind of movement here. You can circle. Oh, I know what I just forgot. You can pulse up. I'm going to add these circles because we already did some pulsing up this morning, today. It's not morning here. It's definitely nighttime. It's just one of those days. And then I'm going to bring my leg back through center. Lean and open that side body I just worked. Any kind of movement. We'll circle the arm. And I know this is going to feel so good. Right hand behind the head. Exhale, bring the elbow down and round. Woo, that is a deep twist. Try to get the elbow even behind the body. That feels so nice. And if you want to go even farther, Instead of just twisting and coming back up, you can thread the arm and lean into it. And I could fall asleep right here. This feels so good. Let's take 2 breaths to make sure I come back up. And then rolling back up through center. Use your hands if you need to transition to the other side. Now you're finding your core. You can take both hands to the obliques. Once you're there, you make sure the abs are active. Then you can float the foot. You can do some circling. You can do the back and forth of the lift too. And then we're going to release the leg down. Open up the side body. Any movements you took on the other side. I'm going to go back into the hand behind the head. Exhale to round. Bring in the elbow either to the outside of the thigh or even farther for a deeper twist. Let's do 2 more here. And then if you want to add on, you're doing that thread and lean into it. Take a breath. Coming on back up. Coming back through center. I need to finish our inner leg line activity. So let's bring the left palm back down. The left leg's just going to stay. And remember how we pointed the toe and brought the knee up and it turned our pelvis. So from here, now I'm going to add the toe tap, trying to keep the knee high and rolling my inner thigh towards myself or pulling it towards myself. I'm not releasing the core. I'm not releasing that inner thigh. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm just going to transition straight into a quadruped. So coming on up on the knees already. Let's go quadruped. Tuck the toes under and take a big roll through the shoulders. If you feel like you want to go into a cat-cow from there, that can lead you into a cat-cow, but I want you to focus on the shoulder mobility. Then we'll press the upper back towards the ceiling. Tuck the toes, find downward facing dog, and bounce it out. Release the blood flow through the legs. Go start working through the lymph system. And when we're ready, we'll bend the knee, step or hop to hips distance. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, meet me at the top. Palms are going to rise. Push behind you. Open the heart. Hands to heart. Exhale to chair. Inhale, stand. Exhale, throw the hands back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands heart. Inhale up. Exhale, hands back. 3 more of these. Inhale, hands heart. Inhale, hands back. Inhale, hands heart. Inhale, hands back. 2 more. Inhale, hands heart. Inhale, hands back. 1 more. Exhale, hands heart. 1 more. Hands back. Whew. That felt good. Open up the toes. Find a malasana. Got a little sidetracked because I think I definitely ate a bug during that deep breathing, but life moves on. So I like to start by rolling through my heels and toes, using the elbows to open up the knees. Maybe you can extend down through the fingertips. As you're extending the arms, feel the back muscles engage. Gentle tuck of the chin to the chest. 1 long line through the spine. Keep breathing. If your heels are getting heavy and the toes are getting light, try to center the weight. Take 1 more breath here. Maybe you can keep the knees where they are and release the hands. Bring them all the way up overhead. Option to bind. Let's push through the feet and just lift up a couple inches. Feel how the work changes here. Exhale, sink it all the way down. Hands to the floor. Take it into a cobra and open up the hips. We just did a lot of hip crunching. Now we want to lift and expand. Open up the hip flexors all the way through the psoas. If you want to work on the triceps, you can give a little tricep pulse. Keeping the chest open. We're not crunching into the front of the shoulder. Now you can extend straight back to a plank and then downward facing, or you can lift through the core and go right toward downward facing dog. Inhale, right toes up. Bend the knee, open the hip, and then bring the knee in this big wide circle. Lower the left heel. You're pivoting it down and extending to a side plank. Keep holding. This is that right side oblique we were working before. Inhale, right toes rise, 3-legged. Exhale, open the hip. We're going to make that move 1 more time. And now you're going to take the right knee and circle or let it barely touch the floor and come back up. Let's go 2 and 1. Inhale, back to our 3-legged. Exhale, open the hip. We have 1 more. We're landing in our fallen triangle this time. So we're scooping around, side plank, left arm up, right toes plant. I hope you can see that. I did make kind of a pounding sound with my foot, hoping you'd hear it. Keep engaged through the abdominals. Push the floor away from you. Open the heart. And then we're transitioning straight to a plank from here. So you have to really focus on the abdominals. My right hand is staying, my left toes are going to push so my heel comes up, and my left palm comes down, but my right toe stay up. Keep holding. Squeeze into the core. Tuck the lower ribs in. Pull the hips to rib cage for 3, 2, and 1. Right foot replaces right palm. You're in a high lunge stance. I always like to bend the back knee so I can get good alignment through my hips first. So if you feel like that's more comfortable, go ahead and do that. And then you have the option to lengthen once you're at the top. I'm going to take a bind on the hands and sink into the pose. Deep breaths. The traps are getting a little tight, so I'm going to release my hands here. Take a few rolls through the spine. Option to go forward or backward. I'm holding on my legs, but trying to just release the upper body. Feel the inner thighs, the hips hugging in. Inhale, palms rise. Exhale, back through our downward facing dog, and let the heels go right to left. From center, we're going to inhale, left toes up. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Now circle that left knee all the way through. Hold in your side plank. The right heel goes down. I don't remember. I think we lifted the right palm up. Yes, we did. Keep holding. Side oblique. Keep crunching. Now back to your 3-legged inhale. Exhale, open the hip. Big circle around. You're sweeping. Going back to that side plank. Now you're adding that sink and lift. This is deep abdominal, deep belly work. 2. Can you do 1 more? Into our 3-legged. Don't lose it. Exhale, open. Last one. Sweep around all the way through to your fallen triangle. Peel open the upper arm. Make sure this is one nice stack here. You're supporting with the shoulder. You're engaging through the core. You're lifting high, opening the chest. Push the heart towards the ceiling. And here's the tricky part. The left palm stays. The right hand's going to go down. My right toes push as my right heel rises. And my left side steps to I don't know what this is, a floating plank? A foot floating plank? This time we're going to tuck the ribs. 3, 2, and 1. And then go right toward cobra. Open up the heart. I'm going to get a little trickier. Bring it back through the hips. Rotate the hands so my wrists are facing forward. And then open cobra 1 more time. Just changes the work on the wrist here. A little trickier to keep the shoulders out of the ears here, but just try to focus on expansion through the chest, expansion through the heart. Tucking the chin, pulling the hips back. We're going to flip our hands back to a normal way. The tops of my feet are pushing down. I'm going to squeeze into my hips and my core as I pulse front to back. So my butt is never dropping fully onto the floor. This is a lot of quad engagement. Now, I'm going to add on 1 more element that is pretty complicated. It doesn't look complicated, but it is a complicated move because it has to do with a lot of control and stability through the core. So from here, I'm going to continue to hug my hips and thighs together as I come up. And if this feels uncomfortable for you on this next step, just stay with this movement right here. Now, you're going to come up, squeeze, and then lean back. Take it up, squeeze, lean back. So it's a little bit of a different movement. You have to stay really engaged through the abdominals, really engaged through the core. If you feel pressure on the low back, I want you to stay with just the original movement. Don't let the knees keep falling out. Hug everything in and together. Let's go 1 more. Now we're going to stay at the top. So if you stayed on the first move, you can now join us here. Make sure the core is closed. I'm just going to extend the palms and see if we can lean back a little farther. It's a lot of thigh work. My thighs are burning. I got some pretty weak thighs, so I need to practice this 1 more. As you shift back forward, tuck the toes under. We're stepping the feet right to left in a lunge. So step to the right, bring it back. Step to the left, bring it back. My legs are landing heavy tonight. Let's do a couple more. I'm going to land with the right foot forward, hold, and then just rotate through the abdominals. So I'm staying active in my core, but I'm also using that rotation for the spine. 2, 1. Step the left foot forward into a malasana stance and just hold your hover. So hopefully my tailbone and butt are one line. Keep squeezing. Take the work out of the inner thighs, put it in the glutes. Pull the knees wider, keep holding. Inhale, rise to a stand, push up and overhead. Exhale, back to your hover, hold. Push the knees wide. Inhale, rise, push up. Exhale, hold. One more, inhale, rise. Exhale, hold. Toes are shifting forward. Just take the hands, tap to the third eye, and push back into a fold. It's like a little baby squat, a little pulse. Make sure the toes are facing forward here. You're protecting the knees. 2. Release on the exhale. Take it down, shake it out. And then we'll bend the knees and step the right foot back, lower it down. You're lifting up through your core. Same thing, add a few rotations. Hi, it feels good on my spine and my hips. 3, 2, and 1. Hands are going to the inside this time. Watch my torso as I push into the floor and lift through the core. Now I'm just going to step to the outside of my palms and then back to a plank quickly. A little cardio burst. Notice my upper body is not moving so much. Let's go ahead and switch which foot you're leading with. Try to load to the upper back. Don't get lazy like I just did. Keep the feet stepping to the palm. Hiya! 2. Land in a malasana. 5. Hop straight up. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. Release the hips down. Take the legs into the air. Give it a nice little shake. That felt good there. Focus on the breathing. Bring the heart rate back down. Vinyasa. And then we're going to pull ribs in. Make sure there's no space from the low back to the floor. Point the toes. Bring one knee in and then the other. I want the leg that's extending to go pretty straight forward. So if it's up here, it's a little bit less. I want it to be right here. You have to work on keeping that low back down and keeping this space out of there. Dig into those deep belly muscles. If you feel like you can move on, we're going to go double knees, double extension, palms overhead. Same thing, no space in the low back. If you're getting those embarrassing back farts, you know you're letting space in. No space. 3, 2, wherever you're at, meet me in our hollow hold. 3, squeeze every part of your body. 2, it's a slow count. Squeeze literally everything. 1, knees into chest. Hiya. Take some circling around the sacrum. Sometimes exercise is just what the doctor ordered. Most of the time, I'm telling you, exercise is just what the doctor should be ordering. So here we are, doing it together. It's already making me feel a million times better. Let's roll through. Let's get some nice rolling on the spine. You have multiple options here. You can focus on just staying in this ball shape and massaging or just kind of getting some pressure on the spine. You can push the feet down and let the hips come up. So you're using momentum to get the weight to stack over the feet. Or you can push up to a standing position, because I always say if we practice this forever, we will never not be able to get back up. So I try to practice this. It used to be daily. Now it's bi-weekly. Does that mean every 2 weeks? That's what I mean, every 2 weeks. I got to get back to daily practice. Let's land in a shoulder stand. Hands down. Catch the hips. Just kidding. Don't hands down. I'm definitely not in my shoulder stand phase anymore, so I had to hold. So you can see how my hips are nowhere near my shoulders right now. So I want to try to use my core to get my hips a little bit more stacked over my shoulder line. So I'm going to continue to support with my hands, but as I pike my toes up, I'm going to catch my low back instead of my hips. So I'm going to lift, catch, and now as I'm pushing my chest towards this nice line, I'm also going to squeeze and lift up through my inner legs and point through the toes. So probably you're here, and it feels really weird to move here, but it's hard. It's hard to talk. It's hard to explain this because I haven't done it in a long time. It's a weird feeling to get the toes back here in the hips. It feels like you're going too far, but just try it. Try to push them back, push them back, push them back. I can't laugh at myself while I'm upside down. And then gently continue to hold the hips as you bring the toes down. And if Jake would get out of my way, watch out, Jakey. Jake, come. Good boy, get out of my way. Go lay down. Get out of here. Go. So now you can see that I'm in a wheelbarrow, wheel pose. And my favorite here is to support and just bend the knees and let them be heavy. Jakey, get out of here. And then you can slowly unroll the spine all the way to the floor. He was being so good staying outside. And then place the feet together in a Baddha Konasana, place the hands to the belly, and we're just going to not move for a minute. We're just going to breathe. We need a little recovery from that intense work that I led you quite novicely through. Apologies. It's been a while. That one just kind of sprang up. I felt like doing it. But once I was there, I realized I haven't taught that in a very long time. So let's use the hands to bring the knees back together. We'll take one more roll through the spine and cross the ankles. As we do so, meet me in a plank position. And then any kind of movement from that plank, you can roll through plank to down dog. You can go right to left side planks. You can go all the way through to a cobra. Let's take a few more here. And then we'll land in our downward facing and bring the left toes up and the left foot inside the left palm. So bending the back knee to unroll the spine. Make sure the hips and spine are in good alignment. Lengthen the back leg as a choice. Open up. I'm going to start with my bind here. Hi. This leg is a little bit tighter. Feels a little bit harder to hold this side. And then releasing, trying to work through the traps. My traps are always so tight. So as I'm holding the upper body, holding the lower body, I'm just going to try to release the upper body. It's often very, very challenging to hold one body part hard and one body part soft. But we're trying here. Body control, that's what we're going for. Let's take one inhale up. Exhale, bringing the hands down, stepping the left foot back. Let's take it all the way through our cobra and hold there. Now gaze down at your elbow creases. Make sure they're facing forward. And then gaze to the front of the shoulder and pull them away from the front of the chest. Now you feel the back muscles activate. Keep the fingers down, the heart up. Maybe your gaze goes to the top. As you exhale, we'll tuck the chin, pull navel to spine, tucking the toes, and then shaking it out. Whatever you need here in our downward facing dog. We're going to take one more little flow before we move on to a stretch. Let's bend the knees and step or hop wide straddle. Inhale, flat. Exhale, walk the hands behind the legs. Take a breath. Beautiful work. Bending the knees as you roll up. Heels in, toes out for a goddess pose. I'm going to go ahead and switch it forward. Hi, guys. Decide to come inside. So using the hands to first push the knees wide. So if your knees are here, push them away from midline. You can feel a nice stretch through the inner thighs. Make sure the feet are fully planted down. And then holding them there, squeeze the hips, pull the inner thighs up, and bring the hands up and away from the legs. Roll the shoulders back and away. Add a little tug of war here. Notice my low body is staying, my upper body that's moving. Now we'll extend a double. See if you can take it a little farther in the deep belly muscles, moving into the back muscles. 2, 1. That was tricky. Hands bind, open up the heart. Option to keep that bind as you extend up and down in this wide squat. But take a peek at your knees. They're falling forward. I want you to push them out wide. Keep working to the hips. Keep working to the glutes. And then staying at the bottom position. The feet were sliding, so I adjusted them a little bit. Bring the hands to the belly. And as you hinge forward, you then squeeze the hips back together. There's no rounding in the spine here. So if you see me from the side, my heart goes forward, but my spine is nice and long. And then I just squeeze my hips back together to bring the chest back up. You hinge and lift. Hinge and lift. So hands are on the belly to make sure that low belly is still working. Now take your hands to your glutes. I want you to squeeze into your hands. Go 5 more. 3, 2, hold at the top this time. I want to square back forward and then do really fast heels up. Pedal, 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 pedal. Push to the legs. Keep holding in those glute muscles. Keep squeezing. 2 and 1. Toes go forward. Just extend the legs right to left. Shake them out. Get rid of any energy you want to get rid of. Let's finish off with a Trikonasana here. I'm going to go towards my right first, and I'm going to add some flowing Trikonasana. So my right heel is in line with the back arch. I'm going to take it down to a trick, and then open into a reverse. I'm going to inhale as I lift, exhale as I fold. Your choice what to do with your gaze. I really have to focus on my big toes planting down. I have a high arch in my foot, so I go big toes pushing down. I work on the inner leg lines, helping to stabilize. I'm going to take a few breaths. Navel into your spine. Last pose here, we're going to go into either half moon or bound. So my right foot's planted, my right hand is down. First, take left hand to hip and roll the left hip open. Flex the back toes of the top foot. Make sure your hip and the blade of your foot are facing the ceiling. Now, lift through that bottom side core. Keep squeezing, gaze is down. Maybe you can float the right palm. No tension in the shoulders. If you want to go to a bind, you can plant the right palm, bend the left knee, take the bind, and then open up through the chest. Big push down through the foot. You can kick the top foot into the palm to open the chest farther. 2, and 1. Bend the knees to release. And we're going to come into a toe stand. So toes together, my big toes are touching, heels are high. Sink it down, don't let the butt fall. Still staying active. You can keep the hands on the floor. Or I'm going to bring my hands up, focus on that back body strength. Make a diamond with the hands if they're floating. Gently pull through the lats as the hands go down behind the head and back to the top. So you're really working those stabilizers. Keep holding. 2, and 1. And then releasing the hands back down. Let's inhale flat. Exhale, take a deeper fold with our toes together. We have a deep hamstring stretch here. I'm facing the opposite way, but that is okay because that just happens sometimes. Let's go through Vinyasa. When in doubt, Vinyasa it out. I'm going to step my right foot forward so I can roll up and face the same direction. And then just move to the left side for trick. So flowing with your own breath. Paying attention to how your stabilizers are working as you move. Keeping the inner leg lines active. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to close. Ooh, nice stretching all the way through to the fingertips. My dog is so funny. I wish you could see him. He lays like a seal. He has very good external rotation in his shoulder. I can't tell, but he looks like a seal. He's got these little arms that come out. Too funny. Yeah, you Jakey Poo. Let's take one more. And then exhale. Sorry, I was sidetracked again. Take it up to your pose. I think he has good internal rotation. That's what it is, Jake. So left foot is down, left hand is down, right hand to hip, and open it up. Use the hand to roll. Now the top of the hip and the blade are facing the ceiling. Keep lengthening, keep holding. Lift through the left side body. Keep breathing, soft neck. Maybe you could float the bottom palm. Oh, this is my tricky foot. This leg doesn't love balancing. I'm going to hold it a little bit longer. Oh, geez. 3, can I do it? 2, squeeze everything. And 1. Now, if you want to take that bind, go ahead and take the bind on this side. Open up the heart. So funny that I still work this leg out all the time, but it just doesn't like to do the work. Just wants to give up all the time. One more breath here. Exhale, we're going for one more toe stand. Hi, Elsie. Toes together, knees high, heels high. Think about pulling the heels to your butt. And as you pull the heels to your butt, feel that deep belly pulling in. Now, we're going to actually move the hands top to bottom this time. So you're rolling fingertips, wrist, elbow, all the way extending through the shoulder. Hiya! And back to the top. Oh, I'm losing my grip. I'm going to squeeze my legs together. Keep the focus, the drishti. 2. Let's go one more. Extra challenge here. Place the palms down and extend to an L sit. 3, hold, 2, hold, 1, and release. Beautiful. Okay, hands are going to the sacrum. If your shoulders are pointing forward, make sure as you go down, you're rolling them open and you're getting a nice fish pose here. You can put your head down on the floor. I just like holding mine here and breathing. Continue to push the forearm to the floor to open up and expand the chest. I feel a great stretch on my shoulders. Jakey, you look so majestic. You're such a handsome pup. And gently pressing it back through center. And we'll go all the way out to the back. From here, left foot goes above the right knee. Pull the right knee to the chest, and I like to use my opposite elbow to push the leg out. So now I'm not only getting this pull, but I'm getting the elbow pushing as well. Try to keep the hips down. If your hips are really high, you gotta work on softening in the low back, softening the belly muscles here. Now releasing the leg you're bound to, but this top leg, it's my left leg, I'm going to just scoop my hands underneath so I'm holding it. So you can place this foot on the floor and bring the front leg close or the top leg close. Or I like to lift up my body and hold this leg close as I extend the bottom leg. Now, if this is super tight, I'm going to hold here and breathe. If it feels like I can go all the way back to the floor, I'm going to lean into it and just hold and find a stretch. I like rocking here a little bit. It feels good on the sacrum. If you can touch your own foot here, you can give some toe pressure, some toe stretching, maybe massage the foot. And then we'll go straight into it's called wind relieving. So watch as I grab, I have ankle and knee, and I'm going to scoop down and around to the outside of my body and then just hold it for a breath. On the next exhale, we'll bring that knee across the body and hold a spinal twist. You want to gaze in the opposite direction. I just love these little pumpkins. They're so darn cute. Stay soft in the shoulders, soft in the ribs, in the belly. Feel the twist in the spine. And bringing the knee close, gaze back up. We'll bring both knees to the chest. Let everything settle for a moment. And then moving on, the right foot goes above the left knee. Pull the knee in, push with the elbow. Whew, that's a sore glute muscle. If your hips are popping way high, whoops, so tight it popped right off. If your hips are really high, try to relax and sink into the low back space, sink into the belly. No tension on the right leg. You're keeping the inner thighs nice and soft, the hips soft. And then you'll flip the palms up. So I keep the top leg. You can place the bottom foot, or you can extend it. That feels better. You can always keep the head up or take it down. Oh, this one's harder. You can rock if you want a little massage on the sacrum. And then the bind is going to change. So now I'm taking the hand to the ankle, right hand to the knee. You're going to sweep around, bring it to a half wind relieving. Take a breath. And then let the leg go across body for a spinal twist and gaze in the opposite direction. Hey, Elsie. Coming back through center. Let's bring both knees into the chest. Any last movements you would like before final Shavasana? Maybe you want to join me in taking the knuckles just above the hip line on each side of the spine, and I just walk the knuckles up my spine, or to the sides of my spine. It's actually the erector spinae muscle, those long back muscles are responsible for helping us stay upright, for helping us lift when we're little babies. Our first back chain that is formed, I'm pretty sure. Elsa, could you please get out of my way? Go lay down. Oh, I see you. And then once you've walked the knuckles all the way down, feel free to go into your full Shavasana. Por favor, I hope you have time to Shavasana. I'm going to Shavasana soon in my bed, so I'm not going to spend Shavasana time here with you. But thank you for joining me. I know I was slightly all over the place, but I needed that. Thank you for letting me share the practice with you, and I'm glad you were here with me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have forced myself on the mat, and now I'm so happy I did. Let's inhale, bring the palms up. Exhale, hands to heart, thanking our practice, thanking our space, thanking all who helped us be here today. I'll see you next time on the House of Chi.